Good evening, everybody, and welcome to United Sessions. I'm Lucas Cash. He is David Carl. It is Monday, May 10th. Dave, it was a good weekend, a tough weekend. Lots of bright spots. Getting together with the family out on Civic Plaza. A good effort from the guys, but not exactly the result we wanted. Good results from the academy. How you feeling? It was a tough one this week.
I mean, I think in life, Lucas, things are rarely perfect and rarely completely awful, right? It's always somewhere in between. And I think that's how this weekend was. A lot of really great bright spots. You mentioned several of them. The Academy going out there and winning 2-1 against El Paso. Absolutely great. Civic Plaza watch party that we had out there on Civic Plaza obviously was a lot of fun. A lot of fans came out, got to watch the team do really well. I thought they played significantly better than they did against RGV. Ultimately, with the draw, the late goal given up there. So some positive, some negative, but I had a great time.
Yeah, I did too. We hung out. We spent some time together on Civic Plaza. Yeah, really proud of the effort of the guys. Really liked what I saw, and really excited that this weekend it's not us at a watch party. It's not us tuning in via ESPN Plus. For the first time in what feels like a millennia, we have a home game.
And 574 days.
That is incredible amount of time. And now's a good time to say, like, we're sort of in the soccer season of United Sessions as well, which is a good transition over to our guests. With this being home opening match week, we wanted to bring in some really important voices to the home side of things. And so we are incredibly excited that we are going to bring in both play-by-play voices for New Mexico United. For those of you that don't know, we are going to have our home games broadcast not only on ESPN Plus this year, but also on Estrella, which is the 7.2 station if you're in the Albuquerque, Rio Rancho area. Estrella have been incredible partners. We were supposed to be able to do this in 2020, but now we get to do it in 2021. And the nice thing is with the SAP function, that means we can have both an English language and a Spanish language broadcast, which is incredibly important to us. So we have Tyler Ortega, who handles the English side for us. We will have Menny Esquivel. Tell me, how excited are you to talk to these guys, Dave?
A dream deferred doesn't make it any less exciting. These are, first of all, they're our friends, first and foremost. Tyler and Menny, both incredible dudes that we love seeing every day at the office, and incredibly talented dudes as well. So excited to listen to both of them as we're going to be at the game. So obviously, Lucas, match day, we're all pretty busy. We're all pretty stressed out. We're going to be in the press box trying to make things go right. But I'm going to have an earphone in. I'm going to be listening to Tyler and Menny. I don't know. I'm going to switch, maybe go half and half, or maybe have one in each ear. That way,
maybe give them a minute split. Maybe make yourself a spreadsheet, 0 to 5, like we do with the score bugs. Listening to Tyler, 5 to 10, I'll listen to Menny. We'll split it up whatever way. But we are so excited to be able to put that out there. Thank you to Estrella for their incredible partnership. It always has been a mission of ours to make sure every New Mexican is included. So we are really excited to have someone of Menny's caliber on the Spanish speaking side, and we all know how good Tyler is. He's done a couple of games for us already. So let's talk a little bit about corporate sponsorship. Let's talk a little bit about rate, subscribe, review, and then let's get to it.
All right, sponsor us, rate, and review us. Did I do it?
Oh man, you did that so succinctly. Like,
awesome.
Why do the other podcasts take so long explaining it when you can just say it like that?
All right, if you want a good night's sleep, get a Purple mattress.
Oh, okay, Purple mattress is the one.
Did I do it?
Yeah, and Crocs.
Beautiful. And Crocs, always Crocs. No. In all seriousness, if you do have a minute, you like the podcast, you like what you hear, go on, give us a rating, give us a review, subscribe, download, all that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of things that gets us into more ears and allows us to talk about community and allow more people to hear it, frankly. Selfishly, it's also super nice to see, hey, look, we got this many downloads this week. But it's really about letting more people hear the messages that these incredible guests bring on. We had Maggie and Tim a couple weeks ago. What an incredible story she told about essentially she was the first American Black female agent in the entire country. I mean, and an incredible story. Yeah, the incredible story that she told about making her way up through a male-dominated industry, rather. We had Mike Azira on last week, and oh my gosh, what an incredible story he told about his life growing up in Uganda, making his way to the United States, and essentially the message that I took from Mike more so than anything was, you're never too big for any job. The shape of the ball doesn't lie was the line that he used, and it was incredible. And these guys are no different. Tyler and Menny going to come on and one, talk about the club that we all love, but also share their experiences. And so if you can help us get those messages out to more people, I think that's incredible.
Yes, absolutely. And Dave, we had a really good suggestion from our coworker, David Young, and I want to take advantage of that. And I want to give him credit for this great idea. But I just wanted to read a review of the podcast. This comes from our friend Mateoism. It's a 5-star review. And he said, I enjoy this podcast because it's both entertaining and provides an educational opening for someone like me who enjoys watching soccer, but isn't an expert on the sport or its politics. I've learned more about the sport and had some great laughs in listening to the first few episodes. Not sure why they push so hard on rock music references in each episode. Are the hosts even old enough to know about the genre? But I definitely recommend this to anyone who enjoys soccer, New Mexico United, and good conversation. So
Mateoism, Lucas is certainly old enough.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a half decade on Dave. So thank you for that review. Please leave yours, and there's a chance we will read that out, because nothing does Lucas Cash love more than self-aggrandizing rhetoric. And if you make me feel good, it's very likely that you'll be a part of this show. So thank you, Mateoism. We are going to be back with Menny and Tyler on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
In New Mexico, we know true love, true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Because we are truly hot, truly unique, truly rich, and truly home to the greatest stories and heroes, caverns and mountains, music and dancing, sunrises and sunsets. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. It's true, the black and yellow. This shield, these people, these scenes. This is New Mexico United. And New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
Welcome.
Well, that was cool.
To United Sessions. You know why you think it's cool, Dave? For the podcast listening audience, we have just played our newest New Mexico True jersey release video. If you haven't had a chance to see it, please check it out. It's beautiful. But I noticed something about it, Tyler, and back me up on this. Tyler Ortega, play-by-play announcer in the English language broadcast, Menny Esquivel, Spanish language play-by-play. Thank you for joining us. But I got a bone to pick right here, Tyler, and let's get this done. I saw Dave in that video. I saw Menny in that video. Didn't see me. Didn't see Tyler.
If I can just briefly respond. You saw me from behind, and I'm jumping up and down in front of the curse, and you can see just like how I have no butt. Like my jeans are like bouncing up and down. So I'm not necessarily proud of that. Just saying.
Well, Menny, you absolutely have
great.
something to be proud for in that video. You look incredible. You look like a superhero. Let's start there, right, with the random conversation. How fun was it to be a part of that video and work with Josh and the creative team?
Well, hello guys. Actually, let me tell you this first. It's gonna be my first podcast on English, or the first thing that I appear that I'm talking English, and that is really, really amazing for me because it's an answer that I'm getting better in English. But
that is incredible.
Answer the question. It's I never been in Abiquiu, so that's a beautiful place.
You looked incredible. That's a monumental thing that you just said, though, and you just kind of rolled over it.
Yeah, like, seriously.
I am so proud of you. Like on a personal level for you've hit a lot of different milestones. Obviously, your first podcast or first production that you've done in English, and you also became an American citizen this year, man.
Let's go.
You are crushing it. You are crushing it. Ty, I don't know how to transition to there other than a little bit awkwardly.
Well, Tyler is also an American citizen.
Tyler, congratulations on being an American citizen, vaccinated American.
He's wearing
citizen,
the true jersey. He's wearing the true
one
kit.
that is as New Mexico true as they come. Tyler, thank you for joining us, buddy. I think your story is really funny, and I want to kind of start the conversation with you guys are our play-by-play announcers, but you're so much more than that. And I know sort of the landscape in USL. And I know that a lot of people use contractors and people that they only pay on like the game by game basis and they don't get to know them. You guys are full on employees of New Mexico United. So talk to me, Tyler, about the start of your journey, where you joined up, because you were one of the first ones into the boat. And then we'll transition over to Menny and hear his story.
Yeah. I mean, August 18, 2018. It's a day I'll never forget. It was my first day starting with New Mexico United. Obviously, I came in as a ticket sales executive. And at the time, we were totally unbranded. There was no black and yellow. There was no New Mexico United. We were USL New Mexico at the time. And it was one Ron Patel that had brought me on board. And at the time, we were making 50, 60, 70 phone calls every single day, just trying to spread the message of who we were. And, those early days were tough. There were times where, I would call a business and they were like, "What are you, a youth team? We're not doing donations." So that was kind of how it started. Obviously, once we were able to launch the brand and everything, the wheels kind of started turning on that. We had our first home game, and things really took off from there. So I'm happy to say that I went from being a ticket sales executive. Now I work on the corporate partnerships team, and obviously doing the play-by-play now on ESPN Plus for the club here. So it's been a wonderful journey. It's been fast, just in terms of how everything has grown from the club to me personally. It's just been so much fun to be a part of.
It's incredible. You've grown just exponentially. I mean, you've always been a rock star. You've always taken your job very seriously. You've always been not just an employee of this team, but a passionate fan of this team. Menny, I know I can set yours up a little bit for you because I'm a big part of the start of your New Mexico United journey. I needed a play-by-play announcer who spoke Spanish, and you came in and you rocked my socks off. And you can take it from there.
Well, yeah, I remember the first call that I had with you. You say like, "Hey, did you want to come for some interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So I was living in Denver on that time, and I remember the first time when I meet Lucas, he looked like a mad guy, but after I talked to him, man, he's the sweetest guy, and I love you, Lucas.
I love you too, buddy. But you came in and I felt bad because you went a weekend before everyone else. You had your tryout. You happened to be in town, so we got it taken care of. I remember you just shaking the room in the office with your narration, and it was unbelievable. And so what I said to you is, I said, "Man, I don't want you to have to drive down for Denver on like a game by game basis. Like, what else can you do?" And I remember your answer. You were like, "Pretty much anything. I don't really want to sell anything, but beyond that, I'll help out with anything, whether that's, talking with the Spanish media, whether that's, hanging out at events with the Mexican councils. And you've just been doing an incredible job. So talk about some of that work you've been doing lately."
Well, yeah, like right now, we are working with the Mexican consulate, and they are a really good partner of us because I feel with the message that we are putting in social media and every single outlet, we are getting closer to us, to the Latinos, to the Latino community, and I think that's the most important here because before I get to the team, I feel that New Mexico United need like something Latino inside, and I'm proud Mexican and proud USA citizen, but I say. The Latino community, when you give them the message in Spanish, I think is more stronger than when they need to do the translate and see what you say. So if you give them the message on their language, I think it's strong for them.
Tyler, 2020 was not at all what you expected, or any of us expected, obviously. You were thrilled, excited. I remember at the time to kind of get this ball rolling as far as play-by-play goes. Things obviously changed very quickly. What was that like for you? You're getting this opportunity to do play-by-play for your hometown club, and it turns out you only got to do it once.
Got to do it twice, actually. We did get to do it twice, both times in Colorado Springs, but you are correct. I mean, No, we were a week out from making our broadcast debut on ESPN Plus. That's myself and Chris Hurst, and all of a sudden the world shuts down. And we like everybody else, we had to pivot. And thankfully, the good folks over at 1017 The Team, they allowed Chris Hurst to jump on and do the extended pre-match show there for each game. So it was a good way to stay in tune with the team, obviously stay sharp as far as broadcasting goes. But yeah, I mean, a week before the world shuts down, I was back at my old high school back in Santa Rosa, just talking to the students there about, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you look like, how you were raised, whatever dreams you have, as long as you go out there and you pursue it, you can get there, so for the way that everything changed, and the way that we were still able to have some sort of platform over at ESPN Radio, and even be able to travel up to the Springs 2 times, and we gotta give kudos to them up there. They were wonderful to work with. It was interesting, but I will say I am very, very excited to get back to the lab and be surrounded by, at this time, 1,000 of our best friends.
Absolutely. All right. Both of you guys, I'm going to pivot here to something entirely different. New player that you are most excited to see play in person.
Menny, you start, and also tell us why. Don't just say their name.
You know what? I love Chelo, but I think Sergio Rivas, because we grew up together and we played together a few games when we was like 13 years old. So he's a good friend of mine, and I know he has like a good level, and he have a good connection with all the Latino community, and lo voy a disfrutar ver.
Yes, and feel free to go to Spanish at any time, Menny. We are more than happy to have this be a bilingual podcast. We have English dominated it to this point, so at any point, if you need to make your point in your first language, you go right ahead. Ty, who are you most excited to see?
I am really excited to see Chelo play. Just from what we saw in the preseason, we know he's very deadly off of set pieces. We saw him score a few times in the preseason, but I know I was talking to Dave for one of the preseason matches, and Dave thinks he could very well lead the league in assists. I wholeheartedly agree. Not only is he dangerous on the delivery, he's dangerous as far as finishing as well. And for him to be what I would say is RGV's best player last season in terms of chances created, etc. I'm really excited to see Chelo and the way he's going to mesh with our attackers.
All right, Menny, we had kind of a throwback to you knowing Sergio for a while. You and I knew each other long before either one of us ever worked for United. Actually, I think you are the person at United that I have known for longer than anybody. You and I used to work together as reporters, and I was at KOAT. Were you at Univision, right?
Univision, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk a little bit about life as a reporter. I mean, we would go after like a lot of the same stories and help each other out. But what was it like being a reporter?
Yeah, man. You know what? I have 26 years old, but I started my career in the communication area when I had 15. I started on radio. So I have 11 years old of experience working on communications. But I think when I meet you, it was on Santa Fe. And for like 3 years in a row, we covered the legislation, man. And it was a little boring.
It was miserable. You're being nice. Menny and I for 3 straight years would be up in that little corner booth in the Senate chamber, just watching these guys talk.
No fritos, with no food, man. So that was a little horrible for me and David, but that was fun, man. That was fun. I mean, I meet you and you meet me. That was the most important thing. You meet me, and
yeah,
that was a joke in Spanish, man. But
the most important thing was him meeting you.
Yeah, I was gonna let it go, but yeah. The most important thing was me finally getting to meet the incredible Menny Esquivel.
No, you know what? We have a story because when we have a breaking news on the north of New Mexico, so if David was there first, so David was like, "Hey, you know what, man? That old man talked to me, so talk to him because he's gonna talk to you." And I was like, "Yeah, man, let's do that." And when I was there first, I was like, "Man, I think that family is gonna talk to you because they talked to me."
I really do think like there's this belief among, people who don't necessarily know the broadcast industry is like, well, if you work for one station and that person works for another station, you guys are rivals. And I mean, that was the case. Maybe sometimes, maybe there'd be like other reporters that you didn't necessarily like, but Menny and I always helped each other out.
Somos Unidos, baby. Somos Unidos way. Tyler, you've also put in some time at a local television outlet. It really cut your teeth on a lot of this broadcasting stuff with ProView Sports. Talk about some of the stuff you've done with them this year, and maybe some other stuff you're going to be doing, because your broadcasting contract with us is not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, and for all the time and broadcasts that I've done with ProView, I actually have to give a shout out to the radio station back in Santa Rosa, 95.9 KSSR. That's actually where I got my start. I was a senior in high school when I actually got into broadcasting. I ran cross country, so I was able to do football. That season, my classmates went and won the state championship, which I got to call that my first ever season of broadcasting. I moved to Albuquerque. I get on with ProView Network, Steve Davis and the crew over here. And I've been doing, work with ProView since 2012, I think. And that's led to a lot of other opportunities, obviously, having done Lobo volleyball the last few years, teaming up with JJ Buck this year to do Lobo women's soccer, the incredible run that they put together. It's been a long time that I've been doing this, and, I'm just over the moon to have this position and platform that I do now, being on ESPN Plus. So just looking forward at some stuff that's coming out. Obviously, the state track meets that I'll be doing for, I think it's like the 7th or 8th year in a row there on ProView and the NFHS. So no matter what level of sports you're watching here in New Mexico, you've probably heard me a time or two.
And Tyler, you mentioned you've done several different sports there. Question for both of you guys: if you weren't calling soccer games, do you have a sport that you would most like to call? And if you do, what is it? Go ahead, Menny, or Tyler, go ahead.
I'll jump in. It's basketball. I love broadcasting basketball. The action is just nonstop. And for myself growing up, basketball was always my favorite sport. Spent plenty of hours outside on the street. I'm sure my neighbors were tired of hearing the ball bouncing at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. That's right. But for me, it's basketball.
Yeah, you know what? Before New Mexico United, I was doing the play-by-play for Broncos for NBC Sports. So I think I need to pick up football, because it was the first sport that I do the play-by-play. And I don't know, I think when you do football, you have a lot of chance to talk with your color commentator. It's not like soccer that you need to be focused in the play, because my style of play-by-play is too fast. So on football, I think you need to be like you can talk more than you call the play. You guys understand?
Yeah, I totally hear you. And well, I think that's an interesting point that actually both of you made that's a little bit different. Tyler, you mentioned knowing basketball from a young age. You loved basketball growing up. I did too. But Menny, you talk about not necessarily knowing football. What was it like? I mean, was there a steep learning curve trying to get to know the game so that you could broadcast it? How did that work?
Come on, amigo Tyler.
No, that's a question for you, Menny. Menny, I mean, it was a brand new game, relatively speaking. I mean, were you a football fan a little bit, or what was that like? You mentioned you had to learn the game.
You know what? This is a good story. When I had 17 years old, Carlos Fursan, the GM for Univision, asked me, because they saw my voice, and they asked me, Menny, did you know how to do the play-by-play for football? And I was like, yes, man. I mean, I don't gonna lose this opportunity, man. And I was like, yeah. So he gave me the opportunity 1 week before UNM plays against Aggies. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. And during that week, I sleep like 5 hours per day trying to learn all the rules of football, man. So after everything, I get the rules on football, and I really like it. And you know what? In Mexico, you don't follow football, because I grew up in Mexico, and then I come to the United States when I had 14 years old. But in Mexico, the only sport that you follow is soccer. So when you come to the US, it's like it was the biggest sport in the U.S. Not right now. I think soccer right now it's getting close to football, but it was fun to watch. And then especially last year, well, not last year in 2019 when I do for Broncos, man, being at the stadium of Broncos, it's something else. I mean, all the crowd, they just win 2 games, but I mean, I do it.
How did that first broadcast go? I mean, you learned a new sport literally for a broadcast in a week. How did that broadcast go?
I was all nervous, man. I think before every game I get nervous, but that specific game I was all nervous. And then the guy that I was working, it was not only my color commentator, it was my boss. So I was like, man, if I get a mistake right here, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. So I do my best. I think it was good because we receive a lot of calls. So and then the guy before me, somebody say it was so good. So I don't know if I was good than him, but what I learned about him, he talked too much with the color commentator. So I was like, I don't gonna do that. So I'm just gonna be focused more on the game, and that's how I work. That's how it works.
That's excellent, Minnie. That's such a good story. And something very similar happened to me when I was asked to do social media for the Soul. I accepted the job, not realizing that I didn't know anything about the game at that point. But good times, good times. Guys, let's transition over. Tyler, we're going to start with you. What have you seen from the Black and Yellow so far this season? Again, you guys are professional broadcasters. You are the voice that's going to guide a lot of our fans through these matches. So your insight is important and it matters to us. I'm curious what those Ortega eyes have seen in the first couple of matches.
I mean, just starting off, obviously, just one goal scored through the first couple of games. It's a little puzzling, I thought, for how well the offense was looking in the preseason. But I will say the defense, as we all expected, has been quality. I think we have the best center back in the league in Kalen Ryden. He's a commanding voice back there. Austin Yearwood has been tremendous since last season. He picked up right where he left off. His form has been impeccable. Harry Sports has been a great addition to the squad as well, playing on the right wing. And I think whenever you're able to throw in guys like Cello, obviously you have Big Dev up top. But then, when you're bringing people like Ilya Illich or even Brian Brown off the bench, there's no drop off in production. So obviously you'd like to see the offense clicking perhaps a little bit better. But I do think that the defense where we're at and only allowing 1 goal per game so far through the first couple of games, I think that's looked rather well.
Minnie, same question. What have you seen? What have you been impressed with? And then what do you want to see in the future?
I think we need more connection on the team. Like I think Chelo it's trying to get those connection with Amando Moreno, with Devon or Illich. But I see a better team than last year. I mean, in every single position, we have the strongest line. And we was having this discussion last Wednesday on Somos Super podcast, and most of the people was saying like, man, we need to play like more free, no more like defense style, because we have a lot of talent in the midfielder and obviously the forwards. But what I say, we're gonna be good on the season. We lost the first game. We drew last game, but man, it was last minute goal. And then Carrijo is a good player, and I hope we're gonna win this Saturday. And by the way, I say Sandoval scored the first goal, and it was Sandoval.
Yeah. We know, buddy. We know. I think that was the first thing we all said when that thing hit the back of the net. And I think
6 inches from my prediction being right. I had picked Kalen Ryden.
Yeah, just so close.
Hey,
so
you participate on the goal?
Yeah, that play. I mean, yeah, Kalen was the matchstick that got that fire started. Like, beautiful ball up to Harry. Harry curls it in behind there. Ty, what's going through your mind in that moment when you're watching that? Like, how are you like, man, I wish I could have been calling this one?
Yeah, I mean, well, and I feel like it's written in the stars for Dev just to find the back of the net first for New Mexico United, as it was in season 1. The hometown kid, the hero from El Dorado High School, you name it. I thought it was a brilliantly ball played across the box from Harry. I thought he could have probably taken the shot himself, but that just shows you what kind of guy he is. when he decides to play that ball across to Dev. And I mean, that's a tap in for Dev. He's going to score that 100 out of 100 times.
Always cleaning it up. Always cleaning it up, that Dev, a man on the ready. So let's turn our attention towards this week. We have a monstrous week in terms of an organization. First home game in 574 days. But I want to make sure you guys have been doing your homework, okay? I want to make sure you guys are getting prepared as the overseer of the broadcast. So, Menny, right here on the spot, tell me what should we be expecting out of Austin? What have you seen out of them? Who are you scared of? Who do we need to be watching out for?
You know what? With all respect to Austin, I think is one of the teams that is gonna be on the law of the table all the season. I think we're gonna win. It's not gonna be an easy game because we are playing 11 players. But what I see, we're gonna have more confidence. I think we play really good the first half on El Paso, and then half of the second half we play similar to the first half. And if we play like that, brother, I think we're gonna be crushed this season.
Tyler, what have you seen out of Austin?
I'll tell you exactly what I've seen out of Austin, and that's absolutely nothing because they haven't played a game this season yet. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to see out of Austin. But what I do know is that I was in Austin last March when they beat us 1-0 on that Justin Schmidt penalty. So I feel like just based off of that, our guys are going to have that fire lit under them. And when you're going to be back at the lab for the first time in 574 days, too bad it's just not 1 day later for that 575, right? Lucas, shout out to the eastern side of state there. But, I do think that these guys are going to be fired up. They're going to want to win. I mean, obviously, Troy, he's talked about it. This is the best team that we've had on paper in our 3 seasons. And I think they're going to be determined to prove that Saturday night, especially at the lab in front of our black and yellow family.
Vamos a ganar, señores.
Yeah. I feel the Chiquita Mama's coming, Menny. They're broiling up. You've got 3 or 4 in you. So that's fantastic. We're definitely looking forward to that. Menny, this is the first time you're going to experience soccer at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park, aka the Lab. What's going through your mind? Because I was with you, man. One of the most bittersweet moments in me and you's time together is like 4 days before the first home game. We're at Isotopes Park. You're sitting in your booth. You're looking out. Like, you can tell the moment is big and that you're just feeling it. And then it's just gone. It's just gone like that. So walk us through the emotions that you're feeling as we gear up for this.
To make it easy, I don't know. When you give something to your daughter, your son, some gift, their face is like, wow. So that was my face on that game, man. Like 3 days before or 4 days before the first game that I was supposed to be the play-by-play, and then the COVID come and we know the rest. But man, when I saw the view, I tell Lucas, this is the best view ever I had, man. So it's gonna be a good day in the office, but it's gonna be good and muy especial. It's gonna be so special.
All right, so I need both of you to pick an away day. We're playing a lot of matches against teams that we obviously wouldn't normally play, include some Eastern Conference matches. Pick an away day that you are most excited about. It could be Louisville. It could be Hartford's here. It could be any number of matches, but pick the away day that you're most excited about this season. Tyler?
Without a doubt, it is sunny San Diego. I am so excited to go out to the West Coast. There's going to be nothing like San Diego in October. I've got some buddies out at San Diego. I spoke with their club during COVID, with Stephanie, their director of ticket sales, Alec, and Weston. Shout out to Weston. He's a fellow Tottenham fan, by the way. I know you love that, David. But I am very, you too, Lucas. I'm very, very excited for San Diego later this year.
Weston does not sound like a good guy, I'm going to be real honest. Menny, your favorite away day?
Yeah, San Diego too. I think in Oakland is a good one.
So Oakland's gonna be here, but yeah, San Diego, it's gonna be incredible.
San Diego, and for the rivalry, I think Phoenix, man. I hate those guys, so so I think Phoenix is gonna be a good game, especially because they have a new stadium. So let's hope it's not too hot like the other one.
Menny, hard work, humility, diligence. We don't say we hate the other teams. You're a professional broadcaster. Come on, buddy. You gotta keep it in the pocket. You gotta call Solomon Asante's goals just like the rest. And that actually transitions into what I think is a pretty good question, which is a pet peeve of mine. Peeling back the curtain a little bit, I do a lot with the broadcast on New Mexico United side, which means I watch a lot of other broadcasts just to get best practices and things like that. And quite honestly, something that drives me insanely crazy is that you get homer broadcasters. Okay, no one's gonna get mad at you for being a little bit biased for the black and yellow, but you got to do that stuff in moderation. Am I right, Tyler?
That's right. And if you go back to season 1 and you watch the one game that I was able to announce there on ESPN Plus, it was a 2-0 loss to Orange County at the Lab. I try to stay as unbiased as possible, but if you go rewatch that broadcast, I felt like I was pretty excited for their goals that they scored.
You got something to do, right? And I know, Menny, you keep it right down the middle, man. Like you are a huge black and yellow fan, and even though you just literally said you hated Phoenix, like I imagine if you were calling that game, you'd call it right down the middle.
You know what? On the play-by-plays, I think I'm fair. Obviously, I say goal better than New Mexico United is my team, but when we have the opportunity to make the play-by-play with Tyler on Mesa del Sol, and then switchbacks score a goal, I was like, I'm gonna be mean, so I'm gonna sing the goal, not similar, but they score. So I was like, let's give this goal a little bit longer.
Well, because it has serious ramifications. We have actually seen situations where an away commentator has done such a poor job that like it makes our person lose out on goal of the week. And like I think that's a tremendous respect for the league, for the sport where it's trying to grow. Like you've got to give them their fair shake.
Yeah, I think when I was really, really, really sad, and you guys gonna remember this play last year against Switchbacks. I think Salih Mohammed scored the best goal in the league in all the season, man.
It was the goal of the year. It was absolutely the goal of the season.
Gonna be with me. The play-by-play in English, Dios santo.
For those of you listening to the podcast later this week, Menny just made a look of absolute despondency. He grabbed his own head as if he was in physical pain, and I think we all share that. And if you remember back in 2019, a similar thing happened to Brucey. He just hits an absolute worldie, and the guy acts like his dog has just died. So I'm proud that I've recruited professionals that understand. Like, yes, we are New Mexico United fans, but we're here to do a job, which is to put on a broadcast that appeals to everyone.
But even a step further, Lucas, I'll briefly interrupt you there.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not even that it's necessarily bad calls. It's, as my dog squeaks their squeaky toy in the background. It's just as much that like if it's a great goal for one of our players. Salih Muhammad's a perfect example from last year. I want Tyler or I want Menny calling it. I want our guys calling it because there's a difference. You can feel the difference. And even if they're not being homerish, you can feel like that goal means something to Tyler and that goal means something to Menny. And there's something to that. And so again, even if the call is good from the other side, I want these guys calling it. I mean, Devin Kerr does a great job and Mike Watts does an incredible job, but I want Tyler and Menny calling them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the passion when you call talking as me, when I saw a really, really good goal, man, you have the passion to sing the goal. I mean, because we love New Mexico United, but we love soccer. And if you saw a good play in the field, you have to call it, man. It's I don't know, it's me, but I'm a 100 professional, and if you see a good, beautiful play, you're gonna sing it. Remember the Brazil? When they used to play the Joga Bonito, how you don't gonna sing a goal like that?
Yeah, that's right. It's 100% right. Again, there's something to be said for the passion that surrounds calling a goal that means something to you.
Well, and let's talk. Oh, go ahead, Ty.
Well, I was going to say, just going back to season 1 when Brucey hit that banger in Sacramento, I think the exact words from the announcer were, "And it's in."
And Salih's, it goes in for a goal.
yeah, and I know this office. I had Lucas and Josh yelling at me from upstairs. They're like, "Hey, we need you to come and dub over this whole call."
We had to do it. We had to do it. And we did that with a lot of them. We did them with the top 10 goals. And I know that's super duper hard for you. Menny, you spoke about passion. And I think passion is a byproduct of, you fall in love with something, you learn as much about it as you can. And like any opportunity you're given to talk about it, you're going to seize upon that opportunity. So you both have passion and abundance when it comes to this game. I'm curious where that comes from. Like I can circle a date on the calendar of like when I actually started to care about soccer. I'm curious what that date on the calendar for you is. Ty, we'll start with you, and then I think Menny's answer will be quite long.
Phew, man, growing up where I did in Santa Rosa, the game of soccer literally doesn't exist. Like there's no youth clubs, there's no school sports. You could probably talk to somebody out there and they probably couldn't name 5 soccer players current, so I think for myself with sports just being a big part of my life, I think I really got into soccer. It was probably around 2006 when that World Cup happened. I actually ventured out to Europe a few weeks after that, and I got to go to Frankfurt. We spent a day there, and I got to see one of the World Cup stadiums. I bought me a Ronaldinho jersey on the streets of Italy. And from there, it was over. I was hooked.
That's beautiful, Menny. This has been in your bones since you were born, right?
Yeah, my father is a good follower of soccer since I was a kid, and we have a weird thing. If you guys follow the soccer league in Mexico, he's a big fan of America. And I'm a big fan of Chivas, so it's like the rivalry in my home. So, in my own house with my father.
Vámonos, Chivas, hermano.
Yeah, so I think I really love soccer. I've been playing soccer all my life. But you know what? When I hear some play-by-plays or color commentator guys, now that they work on some sport TV, their testimony, it's like, oh, you know what, I wasn't being I want to be a professional soccer player when I was a kid, but I think it was not my side. I mean, I like soccer, but I never want to be a professional soccer player. So I was more focused on the communication area, and now I'm here and I can mix my two passions, which is communication and soccer.
All right, guys, I have an idea, and I've run it by both of you before, but we haven't talked to anybody about it publicly yet. At some point in the season, or maybe at the end of the season, we're talking about doing a New Mexico United front office versus media soccer game. Are you guys in? And if so, I mean, I don't know, just talk about it. It seems like a great idea, and I'm saying it's a great idea because it's my idea. So go, Tyler.
I think it's a great idea. And like I just referenced, the game of soccer doesn't exist where I grew up at. So I've never played an actual game of soccer. That may come as a shock to some of you out there. So, I mean, just me personally, I've gone out, I've picked the ball, I've got a soccer ball. But if we're able to get this, front office versus media, if I had to pick one person in the media that I could take on and maybe even nutmeg them, I might have to go with my long lost cousin Brandon Ortega.
I hope he's watching. Oh, he just posted in the chat. He just posted in the chat as you said that. Oh, sorry, Dylan.
Listen, brother.
This game is rigged. Brandon Ortega says this game is rigged if we don't get David Estrada traded to the media. Well, then I'm sorry, man. I guess the game's rigged.
Yeah, no, that's the only reason we agreed to it. Like we were like, we could do this, and then we all of a sudden realized, like, holy mackerel, David Estrada counts as a front office person now. We're gonna beat them 19-0.
Oh, there you go. We got a little bit of trash talk back from Brandon there. And then your co-commentator there, Tyler Hursty, says he's in as well. There you go.
Yeah.
But what side would Hursty be on? All right.
Is he New Mexico United? He's like he's a weird hybrid of both. Like,
I mean, I guess both of you would be that same way as well. Technically, you come to the press conferences and all that, but at the same time, you're in the front office. So
I'm gonna
I spend
have time with the front office.
There you go. You guys could switch.
I was going to say I spend 45 hours a week in the New Mexico United front office, so I got to go with the black and yellow.
Hursty says he wants to be on the media team so he can Meg Tyler. I am down for that. Absolutely down for that. Menny, you in for this media versus front office game?
Claro que sí. Vamos a
All right.
jugarles y les vamos a ganar.
Let's go. Well, only if you're on our team, though.
I'm going to play with you guys. I'm going to play with the black and yellow family.
And in the chat as well, JJ Buck, who is on my Albuquerque Soccer League team, gives the eyeball emojis. I assume that means he's in as well. JJ, you're too good. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, JJ has been banned. I'm sorry, it was decided on by the council of the match. JJ Buck cannot play. David Estrada can play. JJ
Yes,
Buck cannot.
of course.
Yeah,
that just makes sense.
We can't help it. It's the rulings of the councils. We're subject to them as we are. All right, Dave, we're up against it. We have a ridiculous game for these guys to play. So let's hit a break. Producer Dylan in the background doing a great job as always, and then we'll come back and play our ridiculous game.
¿Listos? Dale. ¿Listo? Dale.
Man, our kits are hot this year. Jeez
I was about to
Louise.
say the same thing. How cool is it that both of our ads in this one are just incredible kit videos?
For those of you that were listening on the podcast and all you heard was a bunch of weird electronic music, that was our Electric Playhouse jersey release. Next time we'll unmute ourselves and we'll provide commentary of what's going on for you because we love our audio-only audience. Tyler, Menny, you are both play-by-play experts. One would argue that we could pull up any random video and you guys could do play-by-play commentary for what's going on in that video. And here at United Sessions, we give the people what they want. And here's what we know what the people want. They want Tyler Ortega, Menny Esquivel going head-to-head for play-by-play narration of Wildcat videos. So we have put together a small compilation of cats being wild. I don't know that there's really a way to win this. We just really want to see you guys try and do play-by-play commentary for cats being wild video. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring up this video. Again, it's a compilation that we have put together. Actually, that's not true. It's a compilation that someone else put together and we stole from YouTube. And I'm going to say one of your names. You're going to do color commentary until I say the other person's name. All right, we're going to go back and forth. Are you guys ready?
Vamos,
Sure.
vamos.
All right, Menny, we're going to start with you. You ready?
Okay, dale.
3, 2, 1. Menny, go!
Está el gato queriendo salir, no sale el gato, dándose la vuelta nomás. Ahí sigue el gato, pasa por los rojos, se trabó el video. Ahora vemos qué está pasando con el gato, señores. Los tres querían comer. Ahora llega el gato, brinca, buscando la pelota, brinca el gato, no quiere estar. ¿En dónde quiere estar el gato? Brinca la tablita. Yo ya la brinqué. Y llega el otro poniéndole perdón. El gato dice, qué guapo estoy, señores. Vuelvo a verme, ahí mejor dice, como que no quiero entrar. Ahora sí, me vuelvo a ver. Órale, éntrale pues a las patadas. Vámonos, ahí está. Me peleo con uno, con el otro. Y el gato tiene miedo, señores.
All right. That was wonderful. Tyler, are you ready?
God. For people listening on the podcast, you have to go back and watch that. Oh my God. Tyler,
Can I
that's
just
a hard act to follow, bro.
Yeah, can I just continue? There's no way I could possibly be that entertaining. Oh my goodness.
I said he could call anything. Ty, you got to get in there, man. You got to. Here's the important thing, right? And this is, I think, going to be a good demonstration, Ty, because you're going to do it in Ty style. And that's why you're both the commentators, right? Like, we have different types of audience that are doing this. Menny has a very stylistic approach, and Tyler, you have a very stylistic approach. I'd call it cerebral. So let's see the cerebral approach to Wildcat videos.
All right, Tio, you
Here we
ready?
go. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm in here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the orange cat going up against the gray cat. The orange cat, unfazed. Is that even a cat? I can't tell. That could be a statue. It could be a cat. The gray cat, he's very excited. He's very excited. The orange cat is not flinching. I don't think that is a cat, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, now that I'm looking, that's got to be a statue. Maybe it's a statue. I'm not entirely sure still. Bear with me here. Gray cat still very curious. Okay, we're transitioning. We've got a cat. Is that a dog? I think that's a dog. It's a Chihuahua. Okay, Chihuahua's kind of fed up. A little bit fed up. He's just kind of chilling. All right, black cat's giving up. Black cat is giving. No, he's not giving up. Chihuahua still unfazed. Rather unfazed. Black cat, bad luck. Nope. No. Oh no. Okay, he's still going at it. Chihuahua still doesn't care. Still doesn't care. Black cat's trying to get a reaction. He's not getting a reaction. Chihuahua's thinking about giving a reaction, but he's not going to. He's not very excited, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is going on with this Chihuahua. He looks like he just wants to have a nap. I'm with him. I'd like to have a nap as well. Okay, a little bit of reaction. Black cat. Okay, we're switching it up. Got a multicolored cat. He just did some sort of a barrel roll. He's happy. His tail's wagging. What do we got here? It's some sort of cup. You just roll again. Not entirely sure what's the cup, but it's making the cat roll. All right, now we've got a big wheel, multicolored cat, primarily black, stepping left to right on your TV screens, ladies and gentlemen. Just pay attention. Oh, we've got two cats in a race. They're moving faster. Here we go. 3 cats. Oh no, two cats still. Third cat slid off. Third cat's trying to get on. Third cat can't get on. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with this wheel and these cats.
All right, there it is. Ty.
Well done, Ty. Well done, bravo.
You guys stayed with it. I got to give you both credit. I think I left that on for way too long, and you both just went with it. Well done.
Let's get one more round in here, Dave.
All right, Menny, you ready to go?
Listo.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Sale el gato buscando, la señora la va a asustar. Van a ver lo que va a pasar a continuación. Ahí está la señora. ¡La asusta la señora! ¡El gato fue! ¡No, señores! El gato salió huyendo y aquí está bajándose de la casa. Se va a electrocutar. Ahora va a hacerle al cirquero. ¿Qué les dije? Ahí está, se va a meter a la casa. Se metió a la casa, señores. El gato logró el objetivo. Está peleando con la silla. Se está peleando con la silla el gato. Se voltea, se agarra de las manos solamente. Ahora sí le dice, no me vas a vencer porque voy a seguir atacando a la silla. Y el gato se sigue echando maromas. Parece cirquero el gato, señores. Nadie parece Cory Maisel que ya está en Nueva York, no. Este sí se colgó de todos lados y se está oliendo no sé qué cosa, pero sigue el gato. Vamos a ver este último video. El gato que está limpiando la casa, le está haciendo el favor a la señora. Está limpiando la casa el gato.
Oh my God, okay.
That was a clean cat, man.
I heard you say the cat was cleaning the floor.
That can't clean your house. Come to Lucas right now.
Oh my God, that's so good. If any of you other USL teams are watching, these are the horses we have in the broadcasting stable. Like the broadcasting game is over. Ty, you ready for another content.
One?
All right, let's do it.
All right, Tio, bring us home, buddy. You ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Setting the scene. It's a cat. Maybe it might be a small cheetah, actually. If you look at the markings on the back. Speaking of the back, hanging on the back of the owner, it's a gray shirt. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. He looks like a backpack at this point, but he's just kind of hanging out. I'm not sure what the owner's doing. Maybe cutting onions. Whoa, there's another cat. It looks like a little bit of a larger cheetah, a large cat, excuse me. Still could be a cheetah. I'm not entirely sure. Switching up now. We've got a view straight down leg. This cat showing what versatility means. He's able to climb walls. We'll just call this spider cat, ladies and gentlemen. No red and blue, but that was an excellent job. All right, we've got a mirror. This cat, he's intrigued. I don't think he knows that that's him. Does this cat know that that's him in his reflection? I don't think so. Back and forth, left to right on your screen. Now he is very perplexed.
Left to right.
Still perplexed. Okay, I think he's figuring it out. Nope, he still hasn't figured it out yet. He's digging out. He's coming back in. middle of the mirror, middle of the mirror. If you're paying attention, if you're watching, he's still going left to right on your screen. What is he? Okay, mirror ran out now.
But the cat's. Oh, wild Andy Hageman appears.
lost.
Tyler, this is the best cat I've ever seen in my life.
And you know what, Andy? I cannot disagree with you.
We're done. Oh my god, that was way more fun than I thought it would be. I think the best part of that, Tyler, was we've got a mirror.
We've got a mirror,
folks.
Dylan, start putting that into production, buddy. That's the next piece. We've got a mirror. Everyone knows that's a cat's greatest nemesis, and Tyler is not one to miss that. A keen eye, if you will.
Well
so
done,
if that
gentlemen.
did not
Well
whet
done.
your appetite for New Mexico United broadcasts, I don't know what will. I mean, my goodness gracious. They can do it with random cat videos that they've never seen. Imagine them doing it with New Mexico's favorite soccer team that they've been studying for like 100 years now. All right, guys, we are going to take just one more quick break. Then we're going to come back and talk about our favorite parts in the Wrap It Up section brought to you by Cinnamon Cafe.
From day one, community has been at the heart of New Mexico United. This state, these people, this culture is in our DNA. United has always been more than a sports team, and victory has always been more than 3 points. With everything we do, we are dedicated to creating positive outcomes for every New Mexican. It's time for us to double down on that mission. Introducing the Somos Unidos Foundation, our commitment to the future in our state, to the future of our community, and to our belief that we are all united. Somos Unidos.
Wow, that was something else. Dave, I heard an old adage that Will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas said that the songs he worked the hardest on were the ones that always turned out the worst. If he could put out a song in like 5 minutes, he knew it was going to be an absolute banger. That's what I feel about that game. I think we came up with that game like literally 3 minutes before we came on air. Typically, we do research, we put it all down, but my goodness gracious, that was absolute gold. Welcome to the Wrap It Up section of the podcast brought to you by Cinnamon Cafe. We are very, very proud to be partnering with them moving forward. Dylan, show them a little love up in that corner. There we go. Cinnamon Cafe, they're right next door to us. Dave literally eats 4 breakfast burritos from Cinnamon a day.
You know, it's funny
ridiculous.
when you say that. It sounds like you're exaggerating, but you're not. I mean, Tyler is also somebody who gets burritos from there all the time. If I could recommend the Sausage Red, absolutely fire.
You may recommend it, Dave. You go right ahead and recommend that burrito. Yeah, it's
Sausage
a big
and red
tradition.
chili.
Yeah, big tradition around our parts. If it's a rough day, we got a big day ahead of us. It's always good to get going with them. All right, guys, so let's wrap it up. We always like to end on a positive note, talk about our favorite part of the podcast. I'm going to start today. Normally I let you guys go first, but I'm just want to make sure none of you guys steal mine. So my favorite part is that, Menny, you made your debut in English on a production. And my goodness gracious, were you good. I told you this, like me and you have a close relationship as I learned my Espanol, that I want to get as good in Spanish as you are in English. Like if I get to that level, that's where I'm at.
To be fair, you say, okay, Lucas has like more than 300 days learning Spanish with Duolingo, the application.
In a row, yeah.
I speak English here, so now you need to say some sentence in Spanish, brother. Come on, Lucas.
Let's go.
Okay. Yo muy emocionado para mini participar esta noche.
¡Qué bárbaro!
It's very embarrassing, but it's moments like that that are going to help me get better. It's your help and your guidance and your love that has made me get better, and it's very, very important to me. So to all my Spanish-speaking friends out there, please indulge me, challenge me. I'll tell you to say it slower a million different times, and then I'll spit out something broken and awful like that. But Menny, you're a champion, buddy. I'm so proud to know you and so proud that we got to host you for that debut. Dave.
My favorite part of the podcast was We've Got a Mirror. That game was so much fun, and it's so funny. It's what a ridiculous, stupid game, and then just to hear like a couple cliches thrown in there, like the typical broadcast cliches just thrown in there,
Moving left to
Move
right.
left to right on your screen. So good. Thank
He
you
was helping
both.
out the podcast audience. Tyler is a true professional. He knew that they couldn't see the cat video, so he had the theater of the mind, as they say.
Thank you both. Thank you for indulging us in that stupid game.
Tyler, what was your favorite part, bro?
I think my favorite part for me was just kind of being able to pull the curtain back on myself. I know a lot of folks know me from New Mexico United and where I currently am now, but they don't necessarily know that I've been doing this for 10 years at this point, and where I started back in high school and on local radio in Santa Rosa, and all the work that I've put in to get to this point. So really just letting people know who I am and how I got to this point.
Excellent. Menny.
You know what? My favorite part of the show, it was listening Tyler's story, because if you want to be the best, you have to learn of the best people. And I think listening those stories, and you know what, it gave me pumped, because I mean, it's not me that it was fighting to be on the position we are right now. And here, Tyler, it's he was fighting to be on where he is right now. It was the best part. Congrats, Tyler. You are the best, man.
Gracias,
Love you
hermano.
guys. Love you guys. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Saturday. And I'm not even gonna put any bad juju out there. It is happening, guys. We are gonna blast it. We're gonna turn it up to 11 on Saturday, and you guys are gonna send a big, strong message to the rest of this league. Not just the USL. You're gonna also send it to the MLS, and you're gonna send it to the world at large. Like New Mexico, we produce great soccer. We care about community, and we have passionate, amazing announcers to make it happen. Dave,
The Chiquita Mama is coming.
the Chiquita Mamas are coming. Dave, do we have any house cleaning to do to wrap up the cinnamon wrap it up segment?
Oh, thank you to Cinnamon Cafe, one for making delicious burritos and other food. Highly recommend the fried chicken honey crepe. Amazing, absolutely fantastic. But thank you also to them for sponsoring this segment, the Wrap It Up segment, and thank you all obviously for listening in. Please hang out with us. Tune in every week. We're here every single Monday, starting at 6:00, usually about an hour and change. And give us a rating, review, subscribe, all those fun things, and help us get into more ear holes.
Absolutely. That's what the entire goal. That's going to be another shirt that we're going to produce, which is all the ear holes belong to us. That's where we eventually want to be. Tyler, thank you for joining us, brother.
Gentlemen, thank you guys for having me. I am so excited for Saturday. And other than that, I do want to say I love these kids. I just
They're
want to say
unreal. Absolutely unreal. Menny, thank you for being here, brother. Any final words?
Gracias. Bueno, ahora sí voy a hablar español. Los espero el miércoles en Somos Super Podcast. Y el sábado regresamos a la televisión. Después de 2 años vamos a estar en Estrella TV. Y el equipo en español que vamos a tener va a ser increíble. Queremos la copa. Somos unidos. Chiquita mamá, comienza el fútbol. Nos vemos el sábado.
Wonderful.
And if you haven't gotten your tickets yet for this weekend's match, there are still tickets available. Go to NewMexicoUTD.com. Come hang out with us. Come hang out with everybody out in the tailgate lot ahead of time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let's hopefully get 3 points come Saturday. But until then, Lucas Cash, Somos Unidos.
We are united.